With the new series Colin From Accounts streaming on Paramount Plus following a Foxtel/Binge debut in its native Australia. Creator/stars Patrick Brammall and Harriet Dyer have set themselves possibly one of the most difficult challenges in the history of romantic comedies. How do you make a show in which, within the first 5 minutes, the main characters are responsible for running over an adorable dog and, by the end of 8 episodes, have the audience liking those characters, if not necessarily rooting for their coupling? The answer comes down to clever writing and the chemistry between Brammall and Dyer, who are married in addition to their collaborations here. Colin From Accounts never wholly shakes its "they ran over a dog" bleakness. The dog, it should be emphasized clearly, is mostly okay, nor does it wholly break out from the rom-com conventions it's so keenly aware of. But it's a show that very swiftly establishes a wide emotional range, as well as a capable and deep ensemble around its 2 leads. I said first 5 minutes, but Colin From Accounts is actually far more efficient than that. And efficiency may be the series' greatest strength. Within 3 minutes, we've been introduced by Ashley, Dyer, and Gordon, Brammall, as well as the dog they'll eventually call Colin. Ashley and Gordon are, separately, alone and sloppy, hung up on past relationships and running behind on their day's schedule. Colin is poorly monitored and running loose, sneaking out of an improperly closed gate. Gordon is driving, and he and Ashley engage in a little good-natured flirting at a crosswalk. Ashley, for reasons that are never completely consistent with her character in the rest of the season, half-flashes him as she passes by. Slightly chuffed and slightly distracted, Gordon hits poor Colin, which he probably would have done anyway, because Colin is very tiny and very uninterested in traffic regulations. Ashley and Gordon are instantly concerned and, despite not knowing each other at all, they rush to Yvette, who happens to be named Yvette Annie Maynard. Yvette the vet? And happens to be Gordon's ex. Colin will be okay, but he will require a special set of wheels, and he will become a special needs dog. Since he has no collar or tags, the choice is either that Gordon and/or Ashley take care of Colin or he'll be put to sleep. Because they're somewhat good people and because it's an amusing variation on a standard meet-cute, they opt for the former. It's a thin premise, but darned if it isn't a premise. Fortunately, it's actually closer to a bait-and-switch on the premise. Colin, a border terrier, if such things matter to you, is a key catalyst in the action of Colin From Accounts, but he's never again jeopardized and the real premise of the show eventually materializes. Like so many rom-com lead characters, Gordon and Ashley would never have met at all without their meet-cute, and whatever attraction there is between them, there's a bigger issue, namely, the age gap between them. Colin is somewhere in his 40s and Ashley is 29, and initially that means that she doesn't get his old man references. When Harry met Sally, Butler's traditionally being named Jeeves, but the chasm becomes wider as things progress. In the realm of media representations, we're fully inoculated against being shocked by an age gap this moderate. So it wasn't a thing that I immediately registered as a crisis. Gordon, who co-owns a new Sydney microbrewery, is a bit of a man-child and, despite the gray in his beard, I could have pegged him for anywhere between 35 and 50. Random flashing of strangers aside, Ashley comes across as sterner stuff, since she's training to be a doctor, plus Dyer could be sisters with Isla Fisher, and since Fisher is in her mid-40s, Ashley could be anywhere between 25 and who knows how old. It doesn't look weird, but by the 50th time Colin From Accounts points out the difference, you just accept. Okay, this is a problem in the same way that in Max's Starstruck. You finally accept the main couple might be doomed because of a gap in their fame, even if virtually nothing in the supposed A-list movie star's life or persona really screams celebrity. Starstruck is one of several recent convention-tweaking TV rom-coms that Colin From Accounts swiftly reminded me of. The stuff with Gordon and his co-workers, Genevieve Hegney's Chiara and Michael Logo's Brett, is very much adjacent to the workplace material in Apple TV Plus, as platonic. Dyer's Isla Fisher vibes in the Aussie settings made me frequently think of Peacock's Wolf Like Me, only nobody's a werewolf. At various points, my notes mention Netflix's Feel Good and Amazon's Catastrophe and Hulu's This Way Up. This points to a couple things. TV has yielded a surprising number of really decent rom-coms in recent years, and Colin From Accounts, though not as good as the peaks in this genre, is part of that pack.